Hey everyone, my name is TreeBurgers and welcome to a Crossout update video. I've had this theme going now of updating Crossout every start of a month, and this month is February. I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time because, as you can see from my browser here, we have an absolute bunch of different stories and Radio of the Wasteland and what's happening in the foreseeable future posts from the devs. So this battle pass has actually been revealed quite a lot by the devs, which is a bit unordinary. Is that a word? Unordinary? I don't know, doesn't matter, from what we've seen previously. So we actually have quite a lot of information to talk about today, so I'm just going to try to compile it all into a video so that you can sort of catch up. If you don't want to sit here and read through all of these, then do it with me now. So it's not a secret anymore that a new battle pass is coming together with something like a new faction, or at least just a new group of people that will be visiting the Wastelands. Now, it all started with the Way Part 1 here. In the Way Part 1, we're not going to get into what it's all about, but basically Troy is the main character of this story. Now, this also goes for the Way Part 2. Again, Troy is the main person of this story, and throughout these stories, there's been a lot of talk about something like new wheels and a new cannon and all that stuff. So a bunch of interesting things basically, but not really any info as such. So which is why we're not going to go into detail with it. And in case you might be wondering, yes, I have spoken with the devs about seeing some of this stuff on the PR test server. It will be coming to you guys also before the official release, so that you can have a look at it together with me. But I haven't arranged anything with the devs in details just yet, so I can't really say much more than just that. But there will be a lot of information, and I will be sharing all of the stuff that I'm allowed to share with you guys as soon as I actually get to see it myself, which is hopefully soon, because I'm really hyped for this new stuff. Moving on into the news posts, then in late December we got this where they spoke of a lot of new stuff. First of all, I think, at least I'm pretty sure, that some of the new maps, or the old maps that they have reworked into a newer version of the maps, will be coming back, something like Old Town and all that stuff. And they also said here that we will be getting an urban PvP map. Now, the stuff that is presented here, I'm not too sure if we will be getting in the next patch, but something like saving co-drivers with a blueprint has been spoken of a lot, so maybe this will be coming together with the patch. All in all, I think it's just going to be a huge one, so I'm not going to rule any of this out, even though a blueprint in itself plus some balance changes might seem like a lot. But the main reason that I brought this up is because this developer blog also introduced us to the first new weapon here, and this is actually the first time that we got a spoiler of new stuff coming. A lot of you guys were very quick at noticing the fact that we had a new weapon. Now, as time went by, we also got another The Way Part 3, a news update. So we now had 3 parts of the Way story. And this time they also spoke about a new large cannon. There has been some talk about an 11 energy cannon, so this might be it, but we haven't seen anything official yet. But who knows what we will be getting. The theme of these Radio of the Wasteland, however, is the one that I want to get into now, because they build up a story where basically the devs speak of Alex Merch, who has been roaming the Wasteland and has put up a bunch of camera traps all around the Wasteland. And with this camera trap, well, he caught this photo. And first of all, well, you see the legendary cannon there. And then a lot of people actually also noticed the wheels and were like, that's wheels with a negative camber. Why are they there? What happened? Did they Photoshop it? Whatever. And I think most people actually agreed that this was just the racing wheel, and they just Photoshopped the image a bit. As of just today, devs actually confirmed that we'll be getting a wheel with a negative camber, which is absolutely insane, because the overall look or theme of the new battle pass will actually be drift based, as far as I can tell. We're going to go into detail a little bit later. We can just take them in chronological order, so we're not quite there yet. But there will be a bunch of race car stuff in the new update, which I find quite interesting. And then just a couple days later, another new story was released, this time called Awakening of the Neon Dragon. Now, this goes hand in hand with what a lot of you people have been guessing for, which is that the new faction will also be somewhat based on a cyberpunk theme. But then another new Radio Voice of the Wasteland post was made. And again, Alex Merch has put out his traps, his photo traps. And this time he caught a picture of a new car that people hadn't really seen before. This car actually has a bunch of items on it, and you can just see the race car theme on this car for good. This cabin right here is new. Some people speculated if it was just a different version of the favorite. It is not. It is actually a new epic cabin. And besides that, we also have something like the splitter here, the air splitter at the front. We have some wheels. I cannot figure if this is still just the camber wheels, or if this might actually be some other new wheels, which are omnidirectional wheels. Because if you look at this wheel right here, it has some very, very distinct dents into it, which could be the omnidirectional wheels Otherwise, it's just the camber wheels, but we're not going to speculate too much on that. The matter of fact is just that this is a new ride, and I also think this is a new spoiler, actually. I don't think we've seen this one before. So a bunch of new stuff coming there as well. So what I'm assuming is that this is one of the new armored cars. If you remember with the Doomsday pack, we had the Doomsday Battle Pass, we had 3 different sort of vehicles and 3 main characters in the Battle Pass. I'm thinking the theme is somewhat the same here, so we will see 3 distinct characters who all drive their own armored vehicle, and these are the vehicles that you will be unlocking parts for during your progression in the Battle Pass. Now, in the middle of this post, or all of these posts, it's also worth mentioning the fact that we also had a test server testing meat grinders and tracks and giving them just a little bit more maneuverability and a little bit more intuitive movement, especially for the meat grinders, which in my opinion has been long overdue. So this is a very nice change, and I'm quite confident that this is going to hit together with the Battle Pass changes. And then finally, today, things were revealed exactly what we will be getting. So this is the Syndicate. The Syndicate is the newest battle pass that will be coming, and this is likely to be a new faction, as it says. As many of you remember, the new faction will appear in the Wasteland in February. This means that the time has come to acquaint you with some interesting novelties of the next season. So the first thing we will be getting is a legendary impulse cannon. Now, we will begin with the weapon that we already presented before. It was really interesting to follow your various guesses. We are glad that some of you have almost guessed exactly what this is. So, this is a weapon of legendary rarity, consuming an incredible 11 units of energy. What do we get for the price? Quite massive, durable, and accurate weapon with shot charging mechanics. The duration of charging a shot will affect not only the damage inflicted, but also the weapon itself and your armored vehicle. How? We're going to find out soon. So this seems like a weapon that has multiple aspects to it. It is a legendary weapon, but it can do many different things depending on basically the way that you play it, I guess. And then the special wheels that we talked about before, which has a negative camber, which is quite nice. Ever dreamed of building the perfect sports car? Then these special light wheels are definitely for you. They will allow you to assemble the most stylish sports armored car, and the ability to change the ground clearance at the touch of a button will add variety to the gameplay and your car's appearance. The mechanics of changing the ground clearance similar to the ones we know from the Stallion wheels, but this time we will do without distinctive jumps. So basically this will be a new Stallion wheel, just without the bounciness that the Stallion will after all add to your vehicle. And this is quite a nice feature simply because the Stallions is a blue rarity and it is still a good wheel. I'm not saying it's not. But the higher of a rarity you can get on a wheel, the more durability and the better a wheel. And this also just means that for builds that are sort of dependent on these lower ground clearance wheels, for example, bananas, then I think this is going to be a nice introduction to those specific builds. But besides that, we also have some new epic wheels capable of moving in any direction. This is what we know from hovers, from legs, from meat grinders, the fact that you can strafe from side to side. And I'm personally most worried about this one, but we'll have to see how this works when it actually gets inside of the game. So it says, you asked us a lot and often about these beauties of epic rarity. Well, let's find out a little bit more about this highly anticipated chassis. These are the first wheels that are not divided into steering and non-steering. They are able to turn the armored car while it's stationary and during movement, allow you to move not only forwards and backwards, but also sideways and diagonally. Of course, such freedom and maneuverability impose their own limitations. You will not be able to reach maximum speed on these wheels. Similar to tracks, augers, hovers, and mechanical legs, their maximum speed will be limited. And in order to maximize the potential of the chassis, you will need to show all your skills in assembling balanced and stable vehicles. So, while this does seem strong at first, it has its limitations, which is nice. But of course, we will have to see exactly what the stats will be like. I'm assuming it's going to be something along the lines of hovers, just so that people won't claim that, you know, hovers are the only ones to have that freedom. And I'm honestly kind of hoping, because it will just give freedom to the people who don't want to play hovers or anything like that, and bring more people maybe into being interested in playing strafe builds. Because for cannons, for example, it is just a superior movement part to be able to strafe from side to side when you're shooting and stuff like that. But lastly, we also have a light epic cabin. Now this is the cabin that we have seen in the screenshots sometimes now, and this lightweight and stylish cabin will definitely appeal to all speed and drift enthusiasts, which is very nice since we have the Drift League on my Discord, and you can find a link to it down in the description. So I think all of the dudes in there are going to be very pleased about this. Yes, the drift. How do we think they will be connected? It will be interesting to read your guesses, and we'll find out the correct answers soon in future publications. So this cabin appeals to speed and drift enthusiasts. So the question is if this is gonna have some perk related to it. We got the cockpit cabin not too long ago, and you kind of use boosters for it. So we actually have a race cabin already. So I'm thinking that this will offer something unique, which it hopefully will. And I mean, it has glass and it doesn't really have the armor like any of the other cabins that we have. So to some extent, this is probably a very different cabin from others. And I'm honestly just so happy to see this because we really did a lot of work with the Drift League. And I feel like this just appeals to all of those people who took part in drifting and racing and all of the people who just enjoyed that aspect of the game. So I'm pretty sure that cabin right there goes out to all of you guys. Well, that's all the info we have right now. And as I said before, I will be sharing more info on this as soon as I can. I'm still talking with the devs about all of this. So as soon as I get a green light to go onto the PR test server and show you guys, I'll make sure to do so in a live stream. So if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and do it right now, because then you'll get a notification when I will be starting it. Until next time, stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.